Elsa, a girl with fiery auburn hair, lived in perpetual fear of her shadow. Every lengthening silhouette, every dark corner, sent shivers down her spine. Her shadow, to her, was a monstrous entity, always lurking, always ready to swallow her whole. She lived a life confined by shadows, avoiding sun-dappled rooms and creeping along walls, a prisoner in her own home. One afternoon, while tentatively exploring the garden, a different kind of shadow caught her eye. It wasn't the usual menacing form. Instead, it was the shadow of an old oak tree, swaying gently in the breeze. It danced, a sinuous, elegant movement, like a dark butterfly fluttering in the sunlight. Mesmerized, Elsa crept closer. "Why do you dance?" she whispered, her voice barely audible above the rustling leaves. The shadow seemed to respond, its form stretching and contracting in a silent ballet. It was a story woven in darkness and light, a tale of transformation and ethereal beauty. Then, to Elsa's astonishment, the shadow spoke. I am your shadow," it said, its voice a soft whisper carried on the wind. "And I am part of you, as much a part of you as your breath, as the sunlight that touches your skin." Elsa, stunned into silence, found herself moving closer still. But, I fear it," she stammered, the words barely escaping her lips. "Fear is merely an emotion," the shadow replied, its form shifting subtly. "Like joy, sorrow, curiosity. If you look at it with different eyes, you can understand it, accept it, and perhaps even dance with it." Elsa, initially skeptical, considered the shadow's words. She began to observe it differently, seeing it not as a separate entity, but as a reflection of herself. It mirrored her movements, her emotions, her very essence. She saw it dance with the sunlight filtering through the leaves, with the wind that rustled through the grass, with the very life around her. Slowly, hesitantly at first, she began to play with her shadow. She used the sunlight and the shadows cast by the trees to create shapes, to tell stories with light and darkness. She drew fantastical figures in the air, her shadow mimicking every movement, becoming a partner in her imaginative games. She discovered that her shadow wasn't a monster, but an extension of her own being, a constant companion reflecting her journey through life. The fear that had once paralyzed her began to fade, replaced by a sense of wonder and acceptance. Elsa learned that day that even the things that frighten us most can, with understanding and a change in perspective, become sources of beauty and joy.